What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the PLL Weekly Recap. I'm your host, Steve Strings, and today we are going over Week 3, Game 3, Redwoods Atlas. Let's get right into it. So, not too many important notes going into this game. Obviously, the Atlas, and especially their attack line, are absolutely rolling getting into this one. The combination of Teat, Shellenberger, and Xander Dixon, their playstyles are really complementing each other. They're really clicking on attack. Teat is putting up video game numbers. It's actually crazy. The Redwoods have answered my prayers. They have activated Chris Gray and Ricky Maezan. Ricky Maezan isn't dressing, but at least he's on the 26-man roster now. Chris Gray did get his season debut for the Redwoods, which was a beautiful thing for Redwoods fans like myself. He'll be making his debut against the team that he was traded from, so that's an interesting dynamic. Other players playing against their old teams. Myles Jones used to be a Redwood. Timmy Troutner also used to be a Redwood. So, little bit of a revenge game for both of them there. I know Myles Jones specifically was looking forward to this matchup. I don't know who's supposed to stop Jeff Teat on the Redwoods or really in the entire league. And one last note is Ryder Garnsey sadly cut his flow. I know, Ryder's like the ultimate lax bro, so seeing him with like a corporate haircut, you know, short hair, it's kind of crazy. I got longer hair than Ryder now. That's nuts. So, let's get right into the highlights. This game, the first 2 minutes was an absolute track meet. Both teams just flying up and down the field. Super exciting. There was a lot going on. First highlight comes to us from Dox Aiken, who I feel like is honestly a little underrated in the league at this point. He finds a little space right near the top of the arc, steps into it, almost a two-pointer, but that one had some heat on it. It sounded like he knocked the microphone or something off the goal there. That one was a little wild. You can't get him much more top corner than that. The Redwoods would immediately answer back with Ierlan, who scored right off the face-off, which I probably should have mentioned this in the pregame notes, but there is a massive heavyweight matchup going on here at the Faceoff X between Trevor Baptiste, who probably is maybe the GOAT, maybe the second best all time at the Faceoff X besides Greg Grenlian, but Ierlan and Trevor Baptiste are easily the two most dominant face-off men in the world right now. So seeing them go at each other was quite entertaining. And I really meant it when a lot happened in these first 2 minutes. The Redwoods play some terrible transition defense here, leave Dixon wide open in front of the net, but somehow Jack Kelly's able to make a save on it. Talk about staying ready. Also, another note about Trevor Baptiste. His head is super sweet. I don't know if you guys have seen Saramac on Instagram, but he makes some ridiculous dives for his lacrosse heads. He's not even really a lacrosse guy, that Saramac dude. He's really just like an artist who happened to make some cool stuff with lacrosse. I'll put a picture of Trevor's head on screen. It is a crime that he's actually using that thing in a game. I would hang that piece right on my wall. Now, the Redwoods were able to build up a little bit of a lead getting late into the first quarter. They were up 5-1 at one point here. The Atlas were really killing themselves. They had so many penalties, which allowed the Redwoods to build up that lead early. And on this week's episode of Ryder Garnsey or Michael Sowers getting absolutely smacked, Ryder catches it, decides not to take a shot, and just eats one, dude. This happens every game, like 2 or 3 times for him. Take the shot when you got it. Defenders in this league make you pay for sitting in front of the net. The first half of the second quarter was all Atlas. They bring it back to 5-5, tie it up, and then Nakai Montgomery shows off his speed, catches the ball, running out the box, and Kobe Smith lays another big hit, laying the smackdown again. Because of that play, the Redwoods go man up, and we get this crazy sequence here. Rob Panell always has a nice pass and a bouncer to Garnsey, saved by Timmy Troutner, another shot, another save by Troutner, standing on his head. Nice double save there. At this point, the Atlas were on a 6-0 run, and we get treated to some vintage Myles Jones, splits right to left, and lets one fly. And he lets Isaiah Davis-Allen know about it. I told you, Myles Jones was excited for this revenge game against his former team, and yeah, he lets him hear about it after this goal. How could you not love seeing that big man run down the field, split down the alley, and just let one fly? I'll be honest, I miss a lot of the former Redwoods, but as much as I do like Myles Jones, I don't really miss him that much. He wasn't playing that good for us. I'm glad he kind of was able to turn things around with the change of scenery on the Atlas. The Redwoods are able to score off this play where I gotta feel bad for Timmy Troutner here. He almost saves the ball, goes to scoop it up off the line, and then accidentally just pushes it into his own net. Kind of like the exact opposite play of what happened with Blaze Reardon earlier, or actually just yesterday, the game before this. But yeah, gotta feel bad for the goalie there. With a minute left in the half, the Redwoods are pushing transition, get the ball out to Chris Gray, finds himself in a nice little pocket room, and with a pretty low angle, honestly, is able to snipe this one top cheddar. Great sign for all Redwoods fans out there, seeing your boy, the guy who we honestly traded a hefty sum for, getting a goal here. That goal from Chris Gray brought it to 8 goals apiece heading into halftime. Really good game so far. High energy, flying up and down the field, physical, big hits all over the place. The second half should be really exciting and have a lot in store for us. Kicking off the second half, Myles Jones catches this ball at the top of the 2-point arc. Fundamental, high to low, overhand. You're not stopping that. I really can't get over how much Myles Jones has been able to bounce back this season. I mean, maybe it's because that star-studded attack line is drawing a lot of the attention away from the midfield, opening up shots and opportunities for Myles Jones. But hey, gotta love seeing an old star rekindle that flame a little bit. The Atlas hit another long-range shot with Camizio here. Underhander, almost a 2-pointer. This one only counts for 1 though. The Atlas are on quite the run here. I mean, they gotta be on like a 8-2 or something like that run. They are running away with it early in the second half. Their offense is looking absolutely unstoppable. Whether it's in the transition, whether it's settled offense, they can't be stopped. During this quarter, Trevor Baptiste actually becomes the faceoff man with the 6th most wins all time in the professional league. That is incredible because he's still relatively young. You know, he could keep playing for quite a few years now. I really wonder if he'll be able to beat Greg Grenlian's record. With the Atlas going on a pretty strong tear in this second half, the vet, Rob Panell, had to step up and say, all right, I got to do something about this. He gets this crafty little one-hand shovel shot, real casual. Looks like he's just messing around in the backyard, like he's not even trying, honestly. But hey, that's what you get with one of the all-time greats. They can make amazing plays like that seemingly out of nowhere. He ends up going back-to-back and off transition. Nice ball movement by the Reds. He finds himself with some time and room. Low to high. That's a little bit of an unusual shot from Rob Panell. Don't usually see him taking shots from that far out, especially some low to high ones underhand like that. Coming into the fourth quarter, the Atlas are up by 4 goals, and Shellenberger defies the laws of physics, makes coaches around the world cringe with this goal that was pretty sweet, honestly. He scores from literally behind the net. He doesn't have one part of his body above GLE right here. Yeah, that's how you know you're watching the pros. When they got hands that quick and they got that much skill that they don't even need an angle, literally 0 angle. Yeah, great play. All right, we skip forward to about the 7-minute mark in the fourth quarter, and that's at this point that the game just goes bananas. I mean, there is quite literally 1 goal every minute from this point on. Dylan Malloy scores this quick catch and shoot off a Jeff Teat assist. Good shot, quick hands from him, but what are the Redwoods doing? How are you not gonna push out and pressure on Teat? If you're just gonna let Teat have time and room and be able to pick apart your defense, he's gonna find the pass, especially when there's a guy that wide open in the middle of the field. You're asking to get scored on. Schellenberger ends up getting a nice goal again here too. He catches this one in space, lets it go low to high. It looks honestly exactly like that Rob Panell goal. And he catches that ball off of Myles Jones' assist, who is playing phenomenal this game. 5 minutes left in the game. The Atlas have a power play. Jeff Teat catches this nice feed, and that, I don't even want to call that a quick stick. That's quicker than a quick stick, man. I mean, how do you have hands that fast? How do you have that soft of a touch? Ridiculous. Quick note, Nakai Montgomery was struggling this game. He struggled last game too, just not connecting with his passes. His passes weren't crisp. He was dropping some balls here. I mean, I love Nakai, great athlete, but he's got to step it up a little bit here. He's making some sloppy plays early in the season. At this point in the game, the Redwoods are getting frustrated. They were playing a great game, honestly, but it's against the Atlas. They were completely rolling. There's almost nothing you can do when they get in a mood like this. And that anger was personified by Cole Kirst here, who decides he's going to try and kill Timmy Troutner. He gets the ball, full head of steam, no plans on stopping, runs right into Timmy. I mean, that's an obvious foul. If I'm Danny Logan, you guys heard me last time, I'm going to cross-check him right in the head. Ryder Garnsey, obviously the instigator. He gets in the middle of things. Timmy Troutner tries to pull him away, gets a little beefy, and then Rob Panell throws him right to the ground. I'm surprised then the Atlas don't get more pissed at Panell for touching the goalie like that. I mean, I guess it's because Panell, he's a vet, you know, everyone knows him, everyone respects him, but I don't know what Cole Kirst is trying to do here. I mean, I do, but I get it. He was mad. He was trying to cause some pain. The last real action of the game comes from Chris Gray. Gets the ball here from Rob Panell. Fights upfield, rolls back with a nice question mark dodge. Really stung it right under the crossbar there. I mean, nice, pretty goal. Doesn't really count for much, but hey, good for him. Nice to see it. So, just some closing notes on that game there. That was a really physical one. I mean, if you like watching good athletes, teams getting up and down the field, physical play, chippiness, competitive spirit, this is probably the game from this weekend that I would tell you to watch. We already knew this, but the Atlas offense, specifically their attack, is just way too good. It's actually a little crazy. In this game alone, Jeff Teat, Myles Jones, and Connor Shellenberger combined for 20 points. Let me say that again. Those 3 players combined for 20 points. Jeff Teat already has 31 or 32 points this season, which is as much as Michael Sowers had in the entirety of last year. I mean, What? Rexroad had a pretty good defensive game today for the Atlas. He had 3 caused turnovers and 2 ground balls. On the Redwoods side of things, Ryder Garnsey showed out. He didn't lose a step after he cut his hair. He had 7 points on the day. Isaiah Davis-Allen, short stick D midi, in my opinion, had the best defensive performance on the Redwoods. He had an impressive 2 caused turnovers and 1 ground ball, which, once again, for a short stick is pretty good. But honestly, my performance of the day for the Redwoods has to go to TD Ierlan. I was telling you guys before, battling Trevor Baptiste at the X, he actually bested Baptiste. He finished this game with a 70% face-off win percentage, which I would think that has to be the best performance ever against Trevor Baptiste, right? I mean, is it time to start that conversation? What is the best performance someone has ever had against Trevor Baptiste? He did get injured towards the end of the game, so that kind of inflated TD's numbers, but phenomenal game from him, really putting good work against Trevor. The Redwoods fall to 0-2 with this one, while the Atlas move on to a perfect 4-0. Really, really hot start to the season for them. All right, thank you guys very much for watching. We're almost wrapped up with this week's action. We only got 1 game left to review from this week of games. We're gonna be covering next week's games as well. If you liked the video, drop a like. I don't ask you for a like until you finish the video and seen it, so if you did end up liking it, please help me out. Please drop a like. Also, go follow Thief Strings on Instagram and TikTok. I got the links in the description here. I'm posting a ton of content on there too you guys don't want to miss out on, and that's really it. Thank you guys very much. Have a good day.